Welcome to Just One More Topic. I am Tridrakious.
I'm Frizdag.
I'm
Special guest.
Taborius.
Not special guest. And,
Special, maybe.
well, we...
Welcome to this week's episode.
and we've got a shout out for one of our viewer.
I got more fan art. Ha 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 ha.
Well,
This is from one of our most dedicated viewers and commenters. I'm going to give out your PSN name because I really know you don't care. Beto Galado. And those of you that actually know Brazilian Portuguese, that's not a joke. That's his actual PSN name. So, yeah, Beto Galado. An amazingly gifted artist that drew this up, had this printed out, and sent to me to get framed and hung in the shop. Because, I mean, just look at it. It's awesome. Boy is incredibly gifted. So, Beto, obrigado.
That's awesome.
Yeah, right? I can't wait to frame it.
That's going to look great.
so where are you going to get it framed at?
Your Design.
All right.
Plug yourdesign.ba on Facebook or facebook.com/yourdesignba. Custom frame shop and art gallery. Go check it out.
Now, another thing that we're wanting to do is yesterday, very, very unfortunate news happened to spill throughout the video game world. Giant Bomb co-founder Ryan Davis died at 34, which, you know,
He was a portly gentleman, very corpulent.
the information as to how he died hasn't been released yet, but
It was a heart attack.
oh.
Don't quote me. Anyway, continuing
Yeah.
on. But yeah, we would like to everybody. He was a great pioneer and a wonderful influence on our community and how we should view games as a whole.
From everything that I've been hearing, and plus being part of the original beta for Giant Bomb 5 years ago, was very, very. It was a very important moment in my life because I got to see this whole building up of gaming should be celebrated, not a battleground for everything. And that was one thing that him and Jeff Gersman brought to the table when they launched Giant Bomb 5 years ago. So definitely a very massive hole being applied. So just kind of wanted to have a little memoriam for Ryan Davis. So,
You know, something interesting happened to me in the shop today. Young kid comes up on a motorcycle, probably 17 to 19. The minute he walks in the door, from the way he's acting, his behavior, you can tell he's a little or very socially awkward or inept, maybe something more going on. He mumbles a few phrases, is kind of standing around looking into my shop. And those of you that haven't been here, I sell current generation stuff. I do some retro gaming online, but I have a small store. It's current generation. And he just finally stops and goes, "Okay, I'm going to leave. I'm a traditional gamer," and walks out. And of course, at first it was just,
what?
and then the wheels started kicking. Like I'd never heard this phrase before, and it, come to me, and I'm assuming it comes to mean retro gaming. But at the same time, it's kind of like, son, what's traditional gaming to you? I mean, what, you grew up with what, the GameCube? And you talk to guys like Frizdag here and myself, who grew up with some of the earliest home consoles of gaming. Actually, you grew up with the earliest home consoles of gaming, didn't you?
I started out with the Atari 2600 and the original NES. And I mean, to me, when I think of traditional gaming, I mean, that's what immediately pops to mind, is as those were the original home consoles, where variable games came out and you had a choice and a variety of things you could play at home.
Yeah, and just, I mean, this whole idea of traditional, it's like, okay, so what, you're playing a Pong machine? Or wait, maybe just coin-op arcade games. Oh, wait, do you mean you have a home console where you have to put physical media in, run it to a TV, and use a controller? Because, hello? I've never, and chime in if you've heard the term traditional. Someone explain that to me. It's this elitist mindset that I don't understand. Yeah, you know what? I hate technology too. How dare you make my games bigger, prettier, or more impressive?
For shame.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I understand that you have a specific thing that you really like, and I mean that is what you do. And say, I mean, you don't really expand your horizons beyond that, and you don't bother to waste your time with other things because this is what you like. That's great and all, but almost to a point where you don't really accept that other people like the different gamings or different items as well, to a point where maybe you almost look down on them for liking something other than what it is that you particularly put your focus on.
Yeah, and it's the point, the elitist tag. I stick to it. It's like, great, you know what? If you love retro gaming, awesome. If you're gonna come in to a shop and thumb your nose like that, it's like, dude, I lived it. I'm sorry, I grew up with that, and I'm happy to see the advancements we made. If that's what you're into, hell, go talk to James at Thrill House Games. Plug. It doesn't
flying everywhere.
I mean, Tridrakious, when you were younger, I mean, when you started out with your original gaming system, I mean, what was your original home console gaming system?
Well, the original one for me that I owned was the PlayStation 1. It was the first one that was at my house. Now, I've played all this, like the NES, the SNES, the Genesis, the Master System, and the Atari 2600 before the PlayStation 1 came out, but the games didn't quite get me hooked on gaming. They didn't get me fired up or excited about the next game coming out for those systems. I mean, I enjoyed Sonic 1 and 2. I enjoyed Shining Force 2.
I enjoyed the first one.
Well, I'd never actually played the first one.
And you fit into that. You fit into that early mid-20s, area where, I mean, yeah, you were in that transition area, coming from that one generation of home consoles to the next generation of home consoles.
Yeah, and for me, like, even though I enjoyed some of those experiences with those platforms, it wasn't something where I was constantly looking at it and saying, hey, like, I'm so excited for Sonic 3. But by the time that game was coming out, I was fairly over the whole experience of those platforms. But then I saw stuff like the original Tekken and the original Ridge Racer and Final Fantasy VII all running on PlayStation 1, and it got that excitement going. So I think that's kind of what happened with my... I mean, I was a PlayStation fanboy. I'm still a PlayStation loyalist. But I think a lot of that was the PlayStation did such a great job of having first and third party exclusives that I didn't need to look at other platforms after that point.
And suffice it to say, love what you love. I mean, we all have deep, I mean, that's the point of this whole medium. We all have very deep attachments to certain games throughout our lives, or nostalgia factors. You'll find that most people prefer the games of when they were, let's say, 8 to 13. The system, whatever they had, that's just as much nostalgia. Some of them you go back and play are still fantastic. Others, not so much.
Yeah.
But, it's just, I don't know. I guess there are always going to be people like that. So I'm telling you all watching right now, don't you be no elitist.
Yeah.
Can you dig it?
Whether you grew up...
Wii U players...
Whether you grew up in the
one.
Sega versus Nintendo era, or you are currently stuck in the Microsoft versus Sony era, I mean, it doesn't matter really, what your set time frame is of when you prefer to be. I mean, as far as gaming goes, or anything in general. I mean, just be aware that, I mean, there's other things out there, and open your horizons to everything that is,
And that's as I've gotten older, like I own a PS3, a 360, a Wii, a 3DS, a Vita. Like I own all these different platforms. I'm not just a PlayStation gamer. And I think part of that is also with me having my own job. I can actually put aside money and get the systems that I want instead of having to just pick and choose which one I want. So, kind of, with that in mind, it's just kind of one of those things of
Anything with the teen.
I think the fanboyism starts happening around the times where you do only have that one choice, that one option. And
Chompy's getting at you, man. You better.
That's the bell.
yeah, we've got a Bell air, compressed air, and now Chompy. So
That's been
Chompy's
this episode
returning.
of Just One More Topic. Frizdag, thank you for joining us.
Anytime, guess that, man. I appreciate being here.
All right. Well, I am
What do you
Tridrakious.
guys think? What are you particularly nostalgic to, or if anything, are you an elitist about something?
Yeah, leave comments. We enjoy your feedback. So
Oh,
We
thanks,
will-
Beto, for the drawing.
we'll talk to you guys later.